How's everyone today? And this is the first time ever podcast for us. It's the All Things Sports podcast, and I have some people here with me today. I have my boy Rep, who's going to be on here every episode, every podcast, and then we have a guest, my friend Richie. Y'all go ahead and say what's up.
Hey.
What's up?
All right, it took you long enough. So basically what this podcast is going to be mainly football, but we're going to be talking about basketball mainly on Fridays. So hopefully I have the schedule, what we plan on doing, what days we upload and everything on the screen somewhere. But most of the time we're going to have our topics on the right side of the screen, and then we're going to have who we're starring at the bottom, whichever guest. We're going to try to have a guest every time. But if not, it's just going to be me and Reppin' for sure. But today we're going to talk about this. We're going to follow up game day yesterday, or 2 days ago, because this is going to be on Tuesday. So 2 days ago. So it's going to be game day. So we're going to just start talking about that, some stats that pop up to us, and then like some performances and matchups and everything. So, I mean, anybody want to say anything real quick?
All right, so we got to start off Thursday. We got to start off Thursday night, the first game. Raiders and Chiefs. That game was insane.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I predicted. I told Richie, actually, when I was in a party with him, I told him that the Raiders were going to take that one home. He didn't believe me. He said Tyreek plays, Chiefs got it. But, I mean, Derek Carr, we know what Derek Carr can do, and we saw what Derek Carr can do. And, obviously, took home that W. So, since you were wrong, Richie, what do you think about the Raiders game? I know you're a little upset about being wrong.
I mean, the Chiefs had it in the bag. They're one or two holding penalties away from taking that dub at the end of the game in the end zone.
Yeah. What do you feel about it, Rip?
I want to say Jared Cook is the clutchest player in the NFL. He got the clutch catch in the playoffs with Green Bay, and now this catch, he's just clutch.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch towards the end of that game, and I saw that highlight, actually. I was like, so Jared Cook just wants to make plays for every team he's on, and that was actually pretty good contested catch, and that he luckily reeled in. And, I mean, they won it off of that. So, I was pretty surprised by that. How many yards did Derek Carr throw for? I think he threw for 417 yards and 3 touchdowns, 101.2 QB rating, and I mean that's the Derek Carr we know. Last week I said he didn't play that well because they rushed him back into did he even have a week off from his injury? I don't even think he had
something like that.
Yeah, he didn't even miss a game from it. But I don't think he missed the game, did he?
No, he said against the Ravens. They played DJ Manuel and they got spanked.
Okay, see. All right. Well, they rushed him into it a little, I think, but he came back in. He's used to it now. He's tolerating that pain. He came in, threw for 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. I mean, that's what it took to beat him. I mean, when the Chiefs beat the Patriots, Alex Smith had to have one of the best games of his life to beat them. But anyways, we're gonna go to the Sunday games. Any games that stuck out to you guys? Any?
Not for me.
Bears. They got that upset over the Panthers. It was Eddie Jackson.
Yep.
Got those crazy touchdowns.
Yeah, he was the first NFL player ever with 2 75-plus yard touchdowns on defense in the same game. I mean, that's a pretty far-fetched stat right there. Surprised they didn't say 76-yard plus touchdowns.
Well, what was most impressive is they won that game with Trubisky passing
only 7 passes in total.
7 passes.
Yeah, and it was like 100 and something yards. I don't even remember how many yards he threw for, to be honest. I mean, he didn't do too well on it. It was mainly defense. The Bears' defense has been pretty well for the past couple of years, to be honest. They're pretty well.
They've been locking down. If you see the stats, they're one of the best defense in the league right now, which is kind of surprising because it's the Bears.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I've been saying to myself when they drafted him, when they traded up to get him, I don't know why he didn't start the first game. But Richie told me they paid Glennon that much money, why not try him? So I was like, okay. But
yeah, I'm not a big Trubisky fan, but he's been playing well, kind of. But let's see what he got later in the season.
I mean, you get someone like that who shines in the preseason versus Mike Glennon, who you know what's capable of.
Yeah, and here's the stats right here. He was 4 for 7 and 107 yards with no touchdowns or interceptions. So I mean, that's obvious. He wasn't a factor in that game. 4 completions. Cam Newton, on the other hand, I mean, he's just 21 for 34, 211 yards and 2 interceptions. He didn't throw any touchdowns right there. Obviously, they were beat 17-3.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Panthers been downhill since they lost Super Bowl. I thought they were going to pick it up this year, but I guess I was wrong. But another game I like to mention is that Jaguars defense now has the nickname Saxonville.
Saxonville.
10
They
plus
had like
sacks.
6 sacks, I think they finished with.
No, they had 10 plus sacks against
10
the
plus?
Colts.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah,
And,
they're the first team in NFL history since the '85 Bears to have like multiple 10 plus sack games.
Yeah, I saw that because the
pretty
first
crazy.
game they had 10 sacks, I think, right?
Yeah, the first game of the season they did.
And then what else I saw after that game? And did y'all see what T.Y. Hilton said?
Yep,
About
the whole
how-
line.
Yeah, T.Y. Hilton blamed the loss completely on the offensive line, which I can see where he's coming from, but it's also a thing as a teammate, when I played football, you don't throw anybody under the bus.
Right.
You lost as
Yeah.
a team, and that's kind of unprofessional coming from his standpoint. He shouldn't be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I mean, I bet he's frustrated with his what are they 2-5 now? Pretty frustrated. I see what he's talking about. I mean, they came in underdogs, still was gonna lose, but I see what he's coming from. And another blowout I like to look at is the Rams and the Cardinals. The Cardinals coming off of a good week. Who did they beat last week?
They beat the Seahawks, if I'm not mistaken. Or was it? No, the Jaguars. They beat the Jaguars.
No, they beat the
Yeah.
Bucks
They beat
last
the
week.
Buccaneers. The Buccaneers.
What?
That's when.
I thought you were talking about the Rams. My fault.
Oh, the Cardinals beat the Buccaneers last year 38 to 33. AP had his great game on his new team, and then everybody, even myself, I was sold on AP. Thought he was going to run for 100 plus yards again this week, and he didn't. I think he ran for 20 yards or something like that.
It wasn't just
Off
AP
of-
who just didn't show up that game. The whole team didn't
Yeah.
show up.
Yep, and plus Carson Palmer got injured now. He broke his
Palmer's
arm.
hurt. AP got held to 23 yards. Fitz was held
Larry
to
Fitz, under 30 yards. He's at 29 yards off of 3 receptions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just a great game by the Rams. Their defense has been killing it also this year.
Right.
And then that Jared Goff coming off of a crappy year last year. I mean, he's doing amazing compared to last year. And Todd Gurley, after that sophomore slump, coming back this year, I think he's leading in the league in touchdowns and running backs.
I don't think we should take that as the Cardinals being that bad of a team, but instead the Rams being an actual good team now. I mean, their schedule speaks, or not their schedule, the record speaks for itself at 5-2.
Yep, that's true. Now that the Rams have a better O-line, you see Jared Goff and Todd Gurley have more room and time to throw for Jared Goff.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Now, another game we're going to go through here, guys. Guys that are still watching, we're going to go through here and probably try to talk about every single game. If not, we're going to go through the actual games that were a little interesting. And another game I want to point out is the Packers and the Saints. Brett Hundley getting his first start, and he was doing pretty well. The Packers were holding up until about the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's kind of when they crumbled and the Saints came back.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be better. Hundley would be in a better situation if the Packers' defense was a little better, if they were able to carry.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's against Drew Brees. He's still a great quarterback, one of the greatest quarterbacks of history. And I mean, I see what happened. I mean, no Aaron Rodgers, can't do much. You got to go back to that simple offense. You can't do, Aaron Rodgers get out of the pocket whenever he wants to, feels the pressure and all that. But you got to, what year is this for him? Hundley, 3?
Yeah, I believe
Or
it's
2?
his third year.
Yeah. So, and his first start, and I don't even think he actually played. I mean, he might have a few snaps, but doesn't have any real experience. So, keeping up with the Saints with Drew Brees back there, I mean, it's pretty well. Hey, I know he ran in for a touchdown, a nice little touchdown. Any games that y'all saw that?
Well, we were talking about shutouts, so why not bring up the Chargers against the Broncos? Chargers just stopped the Broncos. Broncos were nowhere to be seen in that game.
I don't know what's going on with the Broncos. I understand
One of the best
they have their
defenses. The
first
Broncos,
two
2
receivers
years
out
ago,
with injuries,
or maybe even
but-
last year, was getting compared to that Seahawks defense we saw a couple years back, and the Bears defense, and then now they're just they're not doing anything. They're letting Phillip Rivers do them. The Chargers are on a 3-game win streak right now, and they're about to head into New England, so they got some momentum there. Trevor Siemian, after that hit, I saw something.
Yep.
Yep.
People said after that hit from Ingram, I don't know if you guys saw it, but that hit from Ingram. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't at all. I don't agree with it, but refs
the one that was
calls.
passing the rougher,
Passing pretty hard hit.
Roughing the passer, which it really wasn't.
For over 20 yards, 207 yards, but he had an interception. And C.J. Anderson had 10 carries for 44. And I mean, I thought, yeah. And
they held
he was also
Demarius to 9 yards. He had a big game, but they overturned it, and they held him to only 9 yards in that game. He had 45 yards off of 5 catches, but I figured like somebody would step up with Demarius Thomas being hurt. Yeah. But I mean, the Chargers had him at the best. They're going into the New England next week, and I think New England's going to take that. But that's on to the next podcast. But let's talk about the Seahawks and Giants game. Now, I think the Giants were about for like half the game, not even that, 3 quarters. Yeah, like even the fourth quarter, they were into the game, which was surprising. But I was like, this is crazy. Like Eli might actually pull this off, but then they let go towards like the second half of the fourth quarter. That's when they started to pull away. Russell Wilson had a good game. It's hard. Yeah. So that trick play though,
I don't know.
Paul Richardson got Moss. Who was it? Landon Collins, I think it was. Yeah. That was just insane. Everybody was thinking it was an interception, but Paul Richardson.
It's crazy, like how they're fighting.
I saw that, and I was
how long
just
has
shocked.
it been without OBJ? 2 or 3 weeks with him. Yeah. 3. So the past 3 weeks, and I think they already had their bye. So the past 2 games, they've been playing like really well against their opponent. Actually catching the first W of the season without OBJ and Brandon Marshall and basically Sterling Shepard, and Eli's doing this. So like, it's having some people question if OBJ might be the problem to the team, if he's too much of a drama queen. He's a handful. I know that. What? Yeah.
Nah, I don't think so.
2 more things I like to note from some games. One is, it's not really the game, but it's a player. Like, let's talk about how Zeke busted out for those, like, what was it, 217 scrimmage yards and 3 touchdowns? Yeah.
Yep, he started off like the game with 2 touchdowns in less than I think it was 5 minutes.
Like in the first quarter,
coming off having a good game, a great game, and it's just
like
I know it's the 49ers, but still, like, I give props to Zeke with all this legal stuff outside of football, coming in and doing that, having one of his best games. It was his second game in his career the past 2 years that he's had 3 touchdowns in one game. So I saw that was pretty neat. And then another thing I'd like to point out, let's talk about the Bills. So I'm a Patriots fan, of course, and the Bills have been keeping up with the Pats in the division. No Sammy Watkins, and then LaShawn just finally got his first touchdown, but like Tyrod, I mean, they were talking about trading him and benching him in the offseason, and then they turn around and what, they're 5-2 or 4-2? Yeah, so like they're keeping up, and I'm pretty surprised. I'm pretty nervous as a Pats fan, but I mean they're playing pretty well. They're playing pretty well. LaShawn's still looking really good as always. It was pretty well.
Yeah, it's crazy because like you saw how they traded away a lot of pieces and they got good draft picks, but now they're playing really well. I thought they were just going to start the season and just tank, but playing like this, they're obviously not tanking, and they still have those key picks to help them in the draft for the next season.
Ever since the beginning of last year, when Tyrod got his start, I've always thought he was the truth. I've liked him. I like him as a quarterback. I mean, it's pretty cool. Pretty great, or pretty good. I would say great. He's pretty good. And the last game to talk about, I want to talk about the Pats and the Falcons. So, Sunday night football, we got the Pats and the Falcons. Patriots ended up taking that. It's a pretty, I don't know if the Falcons' offense is the reason why we won or if it's our defense actually turned the corner. And ever since Shanahan left, the offense on the Falcons hasn't been so explosive. And
I didn't realize how much of an impact Kyle Shanahan had in Atlanta, but it's really evident.
Yeah, like what? I think they went for 3 fourth-down conversions yesterday, early in the game too.
Yeah, that was a little
early. Yeah, early in the game they went for it, and I'm like, like I've never like. It's stupid. And they're playing against a good team too. It's not like they're playing against like a crappy team and they can their defense can stop the offense on the other team. But they're playing against the Patriots. You shouldn't be going for that. You should be kicking the ball or going for a field goal. So, and I like the Patriots defense also. They're getting a little better every week. Our pass rush, the Patriots pass rush was very, very good yesterday. DBs were a little better. I still think Julio could have got way more than 99 yards. He snagged that touchdown from Malcolm Butler, highlight of the game for the Falcons.
That's their only touchdown. That's all they did the whole game, basically.
Yeah, and then as always, there's people over there, like you two, saying Foggate. At least Richie. At least Richie. Foggate. But I read something, and they said something about they see that the low fog or something that was predicted to come that day finally hit the Patriots Stadium, the weather that morning. So I was like, okay. And people...
Oh, the fog in the stadium was insane.
Yeah, did you guys see what Julio said after the game? He basically tried to accuse the Patriots of cheating. He was like, he thought it was pretty crazy. This is legit what he said. I can't quote him, but he said basically, he thought it was pretty crazy that after the Patriots scored, after they let the fireworks or something like that go off, that the stadium just filled with fog for the rest of the game, and that your quarterback can't throw it deep to you when there's fog. And it's like, dude, like,
so run the damn ball,
man. Yeah, you have one top 5 running back in the league, arguably top 5, top 10 for sure.
Definitely top 5 backfield for sure. I don't know if Devontae Freeman's a top
10. I'd say top 10.
Yeah, I'll say top 10.
The duo they have back there is definitely one of the best in the league with Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman.
Tevin Coleman has been playing his best the past few games. This whole year he hasn't been playing his best that much as he did last year. So, but that covers most of the games. Well, we're at the 19. Wow, we went over our time. We're at the 19-minute mark. We're gonna usually try to have our segments split up. But it's the first podcast, so we're going to talk a little more than usual. But we're going to talk about what to look for next week and some injuries. Was there any notable injuries Sunday?
Not that comes to mind.
I know as we are recording this podcast, the Monday Night Football game is going on right now, and I did see that Morgan Moses had got injured. I don't know if he's out for the rest of the game or not. Damn. But he has an ankle injury. I don't know if he's going to be out for the rest of the game, probably. But that's a big, big hit to the offensive line, for real.
Talking about offensive line, though, Joe Thomas.
Yeah, oh, yes. Joe Thomas finally missing a snap.
Yep, breaks the streak.
Is that the longest streak? I would have to guess. 11 years.
So, yeah.
11 years of not one missed snapped. That was crazy.
10,363, if I remember. I'm not looking at it. That's just off the top of my head. I think that's how many snaps he played in a row.
That's crazy. Right. That's pretty crazy. Oh, some more notable injuries now that I'm looking at the games. Carson Palmer with a broken arm. He's going to be out for, 8 weeks, they said?
Around that time, yeah.
Carson Palmer.
They're screwed.
Yeah.
Unless they bring in Cap.
Yeah, but don't even get me on that subject.
Give Cap a job.
Don't even get me on that subject.
We gotta bring politics.
Another injury I want to talk about. It didn't just happen, but it's it's affecting. No, I'm talking about Jay Cutler also, but Andrew Luck. How he was supposed to come back this following week, but he had been.
I don't know what's going on.
His shoulder has been sore, and now they're sitting him out for a few more weeks. So I don't know. From fantasy standpoint, I'm hoping that he comes back for people because people might have T.Y. Hilton or anybody. But if I'm a Colts fan or if I'm thinking realistically, I'm sitting him out probably for the rest of the year. Let him get rest. I wouldn't trade him. I think
hasn't he sat out for like the past 2 years or something? I know he played.
Yeah, he played a little bit last year, but yeah, he's been injured like crazy. Like he hurt his shoulder that he hurt. He hurt it, still played, for a few games and then got injured again on the same shoulder, and that's what's kept him out. So, but that, I don't know. And then Jay Cutler's out for what? They think they're going to be out for like 2-3 weeks, something like that. They played Thursday night.
That's not bad.
They played Thursday night against the Ravens.
The Ravens.
An all right game.
That's going to be boring.
Yeah, but we thought the same thing about the Rams and 49ers, and that was one of the best games this season, so we can't say that.
True. Anything to look on for next week with our matchups? Anybody you want to say? Don't give away any picks.
No bias, but the Steelers and Lions game.
So it'll be a good game.
That's going to be
especially with Golden Tate. It's going to be bad for the Lions because Golden Tate's going to be out for the next like 4 weeks, I think. So
that's a shame.
So they're going to have to find some new receivers. Matthew Stafford is. So that's a good game to look at. So your game of the week next week is going to be the Lions and the Steelers.
Hang on, let me look at it.
I believe that'll be the game of the week.
That and probably the Chargers and Patriots. Yeah. I'm hoping the Chargers can,
go 4-0.
Yeah.
Well, last 4 games.
My game to watch, game of the week kind of thing, and especially if this cornerback comes back, is the Cowboys and Redskins. I can't wait to see that matchup because Norman might be coming back next week. I cannot wait to see that matchup. So, we know the history between them guys.
Yeah.
You know how Norman's out hit.
Yeah, but Dez hasn't been playing great this season.
I mean, I like that. They two pretty decent defenses, especially the Redskins. The Cowboys is all right. Offenses are great. Kirk Cousins, Dak, Zeke, Chris Thompson's been showing out for the past couple weeks. Heck, the whole year. Yeah. So I mean that's a pretty good matchup right there. And then you repping who you think the game of the week is.
I got the Steelers and Lions as well.
Any key things in that game that you want to speak upon?
Antonio Brown is the best receiver in the league.
Martavis Bryant's a bitch.
Oh, let's speak on that real quick before we close out. Martavis Bryant. Before we close out, what do you think of him? Do you think he's gonna get traded? Do you think he's just gonna sit there and keep complaining? I know he just recently talked bad about Juju. That was funny. I know you guys saw that. So do you think he's gonna get traded? As Steeler fans, do you think he should get traded? What do you think?
We should definitely hang on to him until the end of the season. If he continues to not do anything, then we're probably just going to release him and trade him away. But you have an organization who sticks with you through a 5-game suspension 1 year, then an entire season suspension the next year. Then you're going to come back and complain about not getting enough passes when you drop half the targets past you with Antonio Brown being the number 1 receiver.
Yeah, it's like you can only expect so many targets with having arguably the best receiver in the league.
Like Ryan Shazier said on a it was some podcast this morning with Ike Taylor and Dave Damashek. He said he's like, yeah, I want more tackles, but as long as your team's showing up and playing good, you can't really be mad about it.
Yeah, it's like being behind, being like Alfred Morris. That's like him coming out and complaining about not getting 10+ carries. You're sitting behind one of the best running backs in the league. You think you're gonna get those carries? Mm-hmm. Like, come on now. But I mean, it's great talent. Martavis Bryant has great talent. He's tall, built well. It's just you can't be complaining like that. I mean, I understand where he's coming from, but you can only expect so much. Yeah. I think he might be traded. They already said that they're not shopping him right now. That he's not on the market. But you can only complain so much till you get on the franchise's nerves. So.
Yeah, and plus this is the last week. This is the trade deadline, so they don't have much time to do a trade. So
yeah, see, and then like going off into the NBA, there was when Kyrie was wanting to get traded. I think it was Magic or somebody, Charles Barkley, I think it was. He said, usually whenever somebody wants to be traded off the team, you trade them to the sorriest team. So Martavis Bryant might get himself into some trouble. He might get traded to the Browns or something, and then he'll get the looks there. He'll get his looks, but he won't be winning. He will not be winning. But I mean, y'all guys have anything else to say?
Not really.
No.
All right. I should have the schedule, like the scheduled uploads. It's going to be the same time every week. We're going to have a guest, try to have a guest every time, but it's going to mainly be me and Rep on the podcast for sure every time. Richie's going to be in here a few times. Thanks, Richie, for coming through.
No problem.
But we're going to usually have the topics on the screen. We're going to have it more organized. What we talk about, it's just been all over the place right now. It's a brand new thing to us. We're trying to get into this groove for you guys because I know there's not many, especially in the Madden community, there's not that many podcasters for actual football. Like, it's crazy because you see a lot of people playing Madden but barely know anything about football. Like, I saw there was this one competitive Madden player that plays in the tournaments, and he said he does not know a lick about actual football.
Yeah, a lot of people just they get their football knowledge based on people who get like Team of the Week and upgrades and MUT.
Yeah, they don't actually pay attention to it. But like, you really don't see that many people have about a podcast in the Madden community for sure. And then actual football podcasts, you don't see that much on YouTube. So it's just trying to be different for you guys. Hopefully, you guys, get some knowledge, some tips from us. We're gonna talk about fantasy, mainly on Sundays, our picks, and then who we think's gonna go out for a good game. And then I know some of you guys play FanDuel, so we might have some FanDuel lineups for you guys. It's gonna be different. We're gonna change it up for you guys. It's gonna be more organized, and I hope you guys actually enjoyed this. You guys got anything to say?
Have a great day. Thanks for watching. If you watched throughout the whole podcast, you're the real MVP.
Man, real MVP. If you watched through this whole thing, I'll subscribe to you, follow you on Twitter, everything. If you actually watched through this whole thing. But, Rich, you got anything to say?
Follow me on Twitter.
I'll have the link to everybody's Twitter in this, everybody's YouTube channel, but Richie don't want his YouTube channel on here, so I'll have his Twitter.
I haven't posted on that thing in years.
But it's been the All Things Sports Podcast, guys. We're going to be back on Friday. Me and Rep for sure. We might have a guest. It's going to be mainly about basketball on Fridays for you guys. Some fantasy basketball tips and some news and stuff. So that's been everything. Hope you guys have a great day and stay tuned for the next one. Peace.